Good evening, everyone. Today, we'll be sharing a joint meeting between the Crockett City Council and the Crockett Economic Industrial Development Corporation. And so at this time, we're calling the meeting to order. We're open with an invocation and a pledge. Okay, at this time, and the comments will be jointly, the public comments will be both CEIDC and the City Council. And we have two. The first one is Bobby Bowlin. And we just remind you, you have 3 minutes and no dialogue between us.
Madam Mayor, council members, Mr. Time. Thank you for giving me a few seconds. I'm not going to take minutes, it's going to take seconds of your time. Madam Mayor, you have your work cut out for you, and I applaud you for your efforts. Having said that, I want to say to Councilman Johnson, you ran for this position not really understanding the importance of the position you're now holding. I think you have come to realize why Hicks and Jones encouraged you to run. They simply need your vote to carry out their agenda. I truly believe that in time you will make a good councilman. I truly believe that, sir. Make your own decisions and don't let other members intimidate you. And whatever you do, don't put yourself in a position to go to jail. Now to Ms. Hicks and Mr. Jones, it's simply this. You two are an embarrassment and disgrace to not only the city, but also this governing body. You need to resign now, and tonight would not be too soon. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And now we have Tammy Wells.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and City Administrator. I am what I fondly refer to as an outsider. We just moved to Crockett about 3 years ago, and of all the different places that we've lived, right or wrong, I've never felt compelled to be involved in local government. Not to mention public speaking is probably my biggest fear. So this is really the last thing I want to be doing tonight. So thank you all for being my support group. With that being said, I was always taught where there's smoke, there's usually a fire. And I see a lot of smoke around CEIDC, and I do feel compelled just to come up and voice my opinion on that, really only in hopes that there will be improvements in the future. So I'm speaking tonight to support rejecting the recent decision to hire an office manager for CEIDC, and frankly to voice my disgust in the blatant continued disregard by the CEIDC Executive Director for the established requirements and some of the City Council members failing to ensure accountability. First, the hypocrisy displayed at the last City Council meeting was personally to me infuriating and mind-boggling. What I mean by that is the meeting opened up with Councilwoman Hicks giving a speech about needing transparency for the citizens, well, at least the citizens of her precinct, regarding the benefits of Economic Development Corporation. And again, I will agree, I think transparency is great in all government. And then the meeting closed with Councilman Marsh making a motion to add discussion of the unapproved hiring to the next City Council meeting tonight regarding the hiring of the CEIDC office manager, to which Councilwoman Hicks voted no and replied to Councilman Marsh that he could submit a FOIA request for all of that information. I sat at home aghast to that because to me that was blatant hypocrisy in the same meeting. First, I guess some council members can pick and choose when transparency suits their narrative. And second, the fact that a council member does not think it's necessary to hear an explanation both for themselves and for the public from the CEIDC Executive Director on what I would describe as a shady, unapproved hiring process at best tells me there is either incompetence in fulfilling that council person's role or that council person knew the decision unofficially already, neither of which are acceptable in my book. And as far as the Executive Director of the CEIDC, his recent responses related to this hiring action published in the Messenger support that he is, again, at best in giving the benefit of the doubt, incompetent and not qualified to serve as the Executive Director of the CEIDC. If there's ever a time I would expect someone to follow the requirements to a T, it would be when there are corrective actions in place after a forensic audit and internal review. The CEIDC Executive Director either doesn't care about following those corrective actions or doesn't have the qualifications to implement them. Either way, I ask, when is enough enough? It is not that I do not support an economic development corporation. I am sure a well-run EDC could do great things for this community. From what I've seen, though, I don't support the way that the one in Crockett is managed. I just wonder if the millions of dollars that have been squandered away to the CEIDC with little to show for it could have been better used to improve the city's infrastructure. At this point, I hope the citizens make the decision in November to abolish this mess that we call the CEIDC.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. With that being said, comments from the audience. Like I said, we are in a joint meeting today. Did the council, any comments? If not, it takes us to item number 1.